India's Taliban dilemma. Prime Minister chairs second meeting of Cabinet Committee on Security in 2 days. Should India engage with the Taliban? Seven years on, Shashi Tharoor is cleared in wife's death. The Delhi court refuses to frame charges. Tharoor says it's been 7.5 years of absolute torture. Price of cooking gas cylinder is hiked again, this time by 25 rupees. The prices are up by 165 rupees per cylinder since January this year. And Prime Minister interacts with the Olympians. He jokes with Neeraj, "Can I auction this javelin?" Well, India's dilemma is whether to engage with the Taliban or not. Prime Minister has chaired a second meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Security in 2 days. Can India trust the Taliban? Sanket Upadhyay reports.
So should India engage with the Taliban or not? Well, as of this moment, it seems that the sense in the establishment is that we are playing a wait and watch game, because the dilemma is whether we should engage and recognize with the Taliban or not. This is a huge dilemma, because what bothers India is a Taliban-Pakistan-China nexus. This time around, China is in the mix. So India, the sense within the establishment is whether our interests will be protected in Afghanistan, and also whether Afghani soil will be used to carry out terror activities or not. Fears of Taliban prevailing terror in JK, Punjab and Kerala is a huge matter of concern, which has been raised by various MPs also. Cabinet Committee on Security met on Tuesday and Wednesday, in which one of the key things that was addressed, that our top priority is that we should evacuate all the Indians who are stranded in Afghanistan. Apart from that, also offer refuge to Afghan Hindus as well as Afghan Sikhs as well. So this is also a factor which is playing on the mind. Sources also say that the government wants to avoid an immediate hawkish position on Taliban, because they feel that that may not work, because we have to make sure that our interests are protected in Afghanistan, and that is also a major cause of concern. We've also learned from sources that major key strategic commentators who somewhat toe the government's line have also been told not to comment on the government's possible engagement or no engagement with the Taliban. That is also something that we have learnt. One of the things which is fresh in public memory is the horrors of Kandahar, and that is the biggest fear as of this moment, not just among the establishment but also among the people. People still, that memory, public memory of 1999 is still fresh.
The security situation, are you concerned that the Pak-based terrorists can exploit the situation in Afghanistan? Thank you.
Well, at the moment, we are, like everybody else, very carefully following developments in Afghanistan. I think our focus is on ensuring the security in Afghanistan and the safe return of Indian nationals who are there. So that is really what has been very much the focus of my own engagements here, talking to the UN Secretary General, to other colleagues who are here, as well as with the US Secretary of State a few days ago.
And hundreds of Afghan students studying in universities across India are worried about the prospect of returning home and are seeking visa extension for a safe stay here. Akshay Dongre reports.
Shafiq Sultan from Afghanistan just got his master's degree from the Jawaharlal Nehru University. His visa is about to expire, and he's worried about returning home after the Taliban took control of his country.
My visa will be expired at the end of December. So we request from the Indian government to give the scholarship for the Afghan students. Otherwise, we will be persecuted. They will not tell me that just go to the prison like this, king for the Indian intelligence or what.
JNU has asked all international students whose visas are set to expire to reach out to the university to obtain bona fide certificates. In Karnataka, Haroon Burhan and Diana Farzana, who worked as lecturers in Afghanistan, are students at Mysore University. The university has assured them of all assistance to extend their stay here.
So you are all staying in your separate accommodations wherever that you are. So some paid accommodations. So you will be taken care. Don't worry. So we are all like your parents here. So what we call in India, all our officers, what we call take care of you. Don't worry.
IIT Delhi has 16 students from Afghanistan, but 15 of them are back home. A helpline has now been launched for them.
We felt there was a need to nevertheless provide them किसी तरीके की सांत्वना, to provide them some emotional support कि अगर उनको किसी भी तरीके की और दिक्कत है जिसमें हम कोई help कर सकते हैं, तो इसलिए हमने वो एक helpline का system शुरू किया.
IIT Bombay too has 11 Afghan students. Only 2 of them are on campus. The rest are studying online.
वो जो 9 स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो लोग अभी ऑनलाइन में क्लास कर रहे हैं. तो हमारी तरफ से हम लोग पहले का जो कोशिश जारी था कि ये स्टूडेंट को अगर किसी तरफ से इंडिया में ला जाए तो उसके भलाई के लिए, उसको सेफ्टी के लिए, तो वो लोग कैंपस में आ सकते हैं. तो उसके लिए वो जो हम लोग को परमिशन देना पड़ता है कि हाँ तुम आ सकते हो इधर, वो हम लोग कर चुके हैं.
Afghan students for decades have come to India to pursue higher education in the hope of a better future. But with the recent regime change, they now fear being persecuted if they return back and are seeking help from the Indian government to assure safety to them so that they do not have to go back to their home country amid the turmoil that is there. With camera person Prem Singh, Purva Chitnis, Ravi Shanjan Shukla, Nihal Kidwai, Akshay Dongre, NDTV.
Congress MP Shashi Tharoor was cleared by a Delhi court on Wednesday of charges in the case involving the death of his wife Sunanda Pushkar. After the pronouncement of the order, Mr. Tharoor said that it's been 7.5 years of absolute torture.
One of India's most sensational cases. The mysterious death of 51-year-old Sunanda Pushkar, found dead in her hotel suite at the Leela Hotel in Delhi, while her husband, the articulate MP, author and ex-UN official Shashi Tharoor, was attending an All India Congress session in New Delhi, along with the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the Gandhis and the entire Congress leadership. Today, 7.5 years later, Judge Geetanjali Goyal refused to accept a Delhi police charge sheet which said Shashi Tharoor should be investigated for abetment to suicide and cruelty in her death. A relieved Shashi Tharoor's first response came with him saying, "Most grateful, Your Honour, it's been 7.5 years of absolute torture. I really appreciate it." He then released a statement, underlined that in our justice system, the process is all too often the punishment. Describing the charges levied against him by the Delhi police as preposterous, Tharoor said, "This brings a significant conclusion to the long nightmare." Tharoor also added that he had weathered dozens of unfounded accusations and media vilification patiently with the faith in Indian judiciary, which totally stands vindicated today.
We have to read on what basis the discharge has been allowed by the court, but of course there was absolutely no evidence. 7.5 years to decide the application of discharge, it's really unfortunate. The SIT of Delhi Police took about 4.5 years to conclude the investigation. In fact, they took 1 year to register the FIR in this case.
Sunanda Pushkar was found dead lying on her hotel bed on the 17th of January 2014. Her husband, Shashi Tharoor, said he left for the All India Congress Committee session without disturbing her because she hadn't slept well the night before. A post-mortem revealed no apparent reason for her death. A week later, Delhi police investigators said she seemed to have died of hidden poisoning. Then a year later, the police registered a murder case against unknown people and 3 years later charged the MP with abetment to suicide. Sunanda's son Shiv Menon made a statement in the court backing Shashi Tharoor and said he would never have hurt his mother. It then took 3 years for the court to reserve its order in April this year and discharge Shashi Tharoor today. From the beginning of the Tharoor-Pushkar relationship, it had been a volatile one, conducted in the glare of the public eye with allegations of IPL corruption, which even the Prime Minister raised in a public speech referring to Sunanda Pushkar as a 50 crore girlfriend, and various BJP leaders taking potshots at Tharoor after her death. He was at the center of a vitriolic media trial, causing him to go to court for protection.
Mr. Shashi Tharoor is charge-sheeted in a serious allegation of murder. And I don't want to give him more respect and prestige by responding to his baseless allegations.
Today the Congress reacted in his support.
The persistent abuse, slander as also vilification of our colleague Shri Shashi Tharoor by branding him by BJP, Prime Minister and other BJP leaders, as also a select group of TV anchors, has finally been set to naught by a verdict of the court.
Sources in Delhi police say that they are awaiting detailed verdict. After examination, the prosecution unit will take a call on challenging the special court order in higher courts. With camera person Shashi Kanja, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
The other big story, price of non-subsidized LPG cylinder has been hiked by 25 rupees per cylinder. The prices are in fact up by 165 rupees since January.
For the second consecutive month, LPG cooking gas prices have been increased, this time by as much as 25 rupees. In Chennai, many lower income households say they are already borrowing money to buy refills.
அந்த 50 ரூபீஸ்ன்றது எங்களுக்கு பெரிய பைசா பெரிய விஷயம். இன்னைக்கு 50 ரூபீஸ்ன்றது நாங்க வந்து இன்னொருத்தர்கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்கி தான் அந்த 50 ரூபீஸை நாங்க பே பண்ணனும்.
For Ramya, the LPG hike of 50 rupees in 3 months comes on the back of her husband losing his job at a hotel. She has now been forced to take up a job as a receptionist at a doctor's clinic.
We the people also lost our jobs, salaries, everything. Why should they raise their cylinder rate now, this pandemic situation, sir?
In Kolkata, people are worried and angry.
अब 25 रुपये बढ़ा है तो हो सकता है पौने 10 रुपये हो जाएगा. अब उसमें हो जाएगा तो क्या करें, खाना तो किसी तरीके से कच्चा या पक्का बनाना ही पड़ेगा.
Since January, LPG prices are up 23%. With today's hike, now prices across metro cities are Delhi 859.5, Kolkata 886, Mumbai 859.5, Chennai 875.5. In Delhi, the Congress held a protest press conference with cow dung on the table.
ये सर्वविदित है कि सरकार ने फ्यूल टैक्स से ईंधन पे कर से 4,53,000 करोड़ रुपए कमाए हैं. तो हमारी सरकार से मांग है और पुरजोर मांग है कि आर्थिक संकट के इस दौर में जो गैस के दामों पर आपने आग लगा दी है, उनको राहत लाइए, दामों को कम करिए.
After increasing prices of petrol and diesel, now cooking gas hike will put a further burden on people who are already under stress because of pandemic and job cuts. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Meanwhile, Union Petroleum Minister Hardeep Puri has said that the centre is sensitive towards prices of fuel and petroleum products.
पेट्रोल बॉन्ड्स ऑयल बॉन्ड्स जो फ्लोट किए थे, हमें इस साल भी 20,000 करोड़ देना पड़ा. तो ये जो प्राइसेस हैं, इसकी जो पूरी जानकारी है, मैं आपके साथ बैठ के, अभी एक स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने थोड़ा कम किया है, कोई भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो वो कम कर सकती है. इसका असर किस पे पड़ता है, और हमें पूरी इस विषय पे सेंसिटिविटी है और हम अपनी तरफ से जो कदम उठा सकते हैं उठा रहे हैं.
Welcome back to Shillong now, where the curfew imposed on 15th of August was relaxed for the first time on Wednesday. The Meghalaya capital is still tense 4 days after sporadic violence. Ratndeep Chaudhary reports.
Curfew relaxed in Shillong for 11 hours, markets open, taxis back on the roads for the first time since 15 August when the violence erupted over the killing in a police raid of surrendered rebel leader Chesterfield. Thank you.
With a curfew relaxed, Shillong is limping back to normalcy. But there is an uneasy calm with sentiments high about the manner in which the former militant leader was gunned down by the police.
In the Maulai area of Shillong, where violence broke out on Sunday, people are back on the street, along with the central forces on patrol. But the crucial meeting between the government and the locality representatives has not broken the ice. Locals have issued an ultimatum. The government, they say, must act against the police officers in the controversial raid within 7 days.
That until unless you suspend or book this culprit, these two murderers, these two police who led the murderers, the barbaric act on the morning of 13. So we will come and we will have a seat in that peace committee.
So we told the Chief Minister that you should retain the trust of the public, of the Maulai. You should show the sincerity, the capable that you have. As the CM, you can lead the state.
The opposition Congress is also gunning for the Chief Minister, who is keeping up a brave face and even defending the police.
Even before the independent inquiry is notified, the Chief Minister has been giving statement, defending the police and talking about the circumstances. It's not inconsistent with what is expected.
We have been now reaching out to a large number of seniors, citizens in society, the headmen, the different organizations, and to a large extent we have been able to positively move forward in this. That's why today you have seen a relaxation in the curfew. We have in fact put in a judicial inquiry, and he had in fact himself mentioned in the letter that a judicial inquiry should be put in. When everything is okay, the general sense don't realize or individuals don't realize the amount of work that the police is putting in to ensure that there is calmness and peacefulness.
The tension in Shillong is tangible. The crisis for the government far from over. In Shillong with camera person Sanjay Chakravarti, Ratndeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
And finally, here are the excerpts from the Prime Minister's interaction with the Olympians. We leave you with this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
ये मैं ऑक्शन कर देता हूँ, चलेगा? मैं इसका ऑक्शन करता हूँ। ठीक है सर। अच्छा नीरज ये बताइए, सचमुच में बड़ा मेरे लिए सरप्राइज था कि जब तुमने सेकंड बार अपना किया तो तुमने विक्ट्री के मूड में आ गए और एकदम विक्ट्री तुम सेलिब्रेट करने लग गए। इसके पीछे बहुत बड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस है, पूरी जानकारी लगती है तब संभव होता है और खिलाड़ियों के संबंध में भी जानकारी होगी क्या हो रहा है, तो कैसे संभव हुआ।
इतने साल से हम ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं उसी चीज़ के लिए, तो वो एफर्ट बता देता है कि हाँ ये बेस्ट थ्रो है। और सबसे बड़ी बात है जो कॉन्फिडेंस है वो ट्रेनिंग से आता है सर। ट्रेनिंग इतने अच्छे से हुई थी इतने साल, तो इसलिए कॉन्फिडेंस था।
और विनेश ये तो मेरे ही परिवार की है। क्या बेटा बहुत तुम गुस्सा आ गया तुम्हें, अपने आप पर गुस्सा क्यों करती हो? हैं?
सर इतनी
देखिए तुमने बहुत अच्छा खेला है और तुम्हारे परिवार ने, पूरे परिवार ने बहुत कुछ अच्छा दिया है। विनेश निराश नहीं हो सकती, ये बात नहीं चलेगी। मैंने सुना तुम आने के बाद भी किसी को मिलती नहीं थी, ये क्या तरीका है?
सर इतनी मेहनत के बाद जब मेडल नहीं आता तो दुख होता है काफी।
नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता है तो... अरे खिलाड़ी की जिंदगी में हारना है तो बाएं हाथ का खेल होता है।
सर
वो हारने से कभी चिंता नहीं करता है।
हार एक्सेप्ट करने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है सर मेरे को।
नहीं बताइए कि मन से निकालना चाहिए। और मैंने जो ऐसे अभी मैंने नीरज से एक बात कही, मेरा मत है कि जीत को कभी सर पे चढ़ने मत दो और हार को मन में बसने मत दो। भाई पहले मुझे इसको आइसक्रीम खिलाना है, मैंने प्रॉमिस किया था उसको। सब बंद हो गया ना?
हाँ सर, अभी ओलंपिक्स टाइम पे ऑब्वियसली बंद हो गया, बट अभी थोड़े दिन से
सबको खिलाइए भाई। हाँ। ये भी फिर डबल मेडल लेके आएंगे।